Taking something you love doing in your spare time and slowly turning it into a business that reaches hundreds of thousands of people is an achievement very few people manage. For Mary Yoder, that journey eventually grew into a YouTube channel, a successful Etsy store with more than 91,000 sales, and a loyal audience that continues to follow her ideas for home decor, crafting, and everyday living. This is the story behind White Cottage Company. Mary isn't someone who became famous overnight because of one viral video. Her success came from years of creating, experimenting, sharing ideas, and building trust with an audience that connected with her simple approach to home and creativity. What started with a love for making things eventually became a recognizable lifestyle brand with several different sources of income. Today, White Cottage Company has hundreds of thousands of YouTube subscribers, tens of millions of views, and an Etsy shop with a remarkable sales history. That naturally raises an interesting question. How much is Mary Yoder actually worth? There is no official public figure for Mary's personal net worth, so any exact number would be speculation. What we can do, however, is look at the size of her audience, the activity surrounding her Etsy store, the products she sells, her YouTube presence, and the different ways a business like this can generate revenue. And when all of those pieces are put together, the story becomes quite interesting. Mary Yoder is the creator behind White Cottage Company, a DIY, home decor, crafting, and lifestyle brand based in Ohio. At the heart of her work is a simple idea that many people can relate to. You don't always need to buy something new to make your home look beautiful. Sometimes an older piece of furniture, a simple wooden object, or something sitting around the house can become something completely different with a little creativity. That philosophy has become one of the defining themes of Mary's content. Mary has shared that she has loved creating things for as long as she can remember. When she was young and thought of something she wanted to make, her natural reaction was to start creating it. That interest continued into adulthood, where she found different ways to work with furniture, wood, home decor, and everyday household items. Over the years, her projects have included furniture makeovers, painting, decorating, woodworking, gardening, thrifting, and other home improvement ideas. Each project became another opportunity to show people that beautiful spaces don't necessarily require enormous budgets. Eventually, that passion began to develop into something much larger than a personal hobby. One of the earliest major pieces of the White Cottage Company story is the Etsy store. Mary's Etsy shop dates back to 2017. According to the shop's own biography, White Cottage Company had been a vision of hers for years before she finally opened the store. The idea was connected to her desire to inspire people to create homes with a farmhouse and cottage-style atmosphere. The store has since developed into a substantial online retail operation. The White Cottage Company Etsy store currently shows more than 91,000 sales and roughly 15,400 reviews, with an overall rating of around 4.9 out of 5. Considering that the store has been operating for roughly 9 years, those numbers represent a considerable amount of customer activity. Of course, 91,000 sales doesn't necessarily mean 91,000 individual products. A single customer can purchase several items in one order. An Etsy sales counter doesn't tell us exactly how much revenue was generated from those transactions. Still, the number tells us something important. White Cottage Company has built a significant customer base beyond YouTube. The product range is also broader than you might expect. The store has included hand-poured soy candles, wooden decor, cookbook stands, decorative pieces, ornaments, digital artwork, recipes, printable decor, books, soaps, and other farmhouse-inspired products. Some items are relatively inexpensive, while others carry considerably higher prices. Current examples include candles priced in the general range of $14 to $23, wooden products selling for around $15 to $28 or more, books priced around $35, and digital downloads available for only a few dollars. That variety gives the business several different ways to serve its customers. One person might purchase a small digital download, while another could order candles, wooden decor, and a book at the same time. Digital products are particularly interesting because they don't require physical inventory, packaging, or shipping once they're created and delivered electronically. At the same time, physical products bring their own challenges and expenses. Materials, labor, packaging, shipping, Etsy fees, taxes, advertising, and other operating costs all affect the final profit. That is why it would be misleading to simply take 91,000 sales and multiply that number by an estimated product price. The sales figure tells us about the scale of the business, but it doesn't tell us Mary's personal profit. Then there is the other major part of the White Cottage Company business: YouTube. Mary started the White Cottage Company YouTube channel in February 2018. Over the years, the channel has grown into a sizable lifestyle destination, with current third-party tracking data placing it at approximately 444,000 subscribers, around 83 million total views, and nearly 500 videos. Those numbers are significant, particularly because the channel has been built around a very specific type of content. Mary's videos focus on DIY projects, decorating, thrifting, gardening, furniture makeovers, home projects, and lifestyle inspiration. The appeal comes from the practical nature of the content and the calm atmosphere surrounding it. For viewers who enjoy home projects, there is always something familiar in Mary's approach. A piece of furniture can be given another life. A room can be refreshed without completely starting over. A simple decoration can change the feeling of a space. That kind of content also has a long shelf life. A news video may lose much of its relevance within days, while a furniture makeover or decorating tutorial can continue attracting viewers months or even years after it was published. That can be valuable for a channel with a large library of videos. Recent White Cottage Company videos have continued attracting tens of thousands of views, with some approaching or passing the 100,000 view mark. But how much money does that actually generate? This is where things become less certain. YouTube does not publicly disclose an individual creator's earnings, and Mary has not publicly confirmed exactly how much she earns from the platform. Third-party websites can estimate revenue using views, advertising rates, and other assumptions, but those estimates should always be treated carefully. For example, vidIQ currently estimates White Cottage Company's YouTube earnings at roughly $2,000 per month. Other tracking services can provide considerably different figures because they use different assumptions about advertising rates, monetized views, and audience demographics. That means there is no reliable public number we can point to and say, this is exactly what Mary earns every month. Her actual YouTube income could be higher or lower. Revenue can depend on where viewers live, how many views are monetized, the length of each video, advertising demand, the time of year, YouTube Premium revenue, and the types of advertisements shown to viewers. There is also another important point to remember. YouTube advertising may not be the largest source of income for a creator like Mary. The real strength of White Cottage Company is that YouTube and Etsy can work together. YouTube introduces people to Mary's ideas and personality, while the Etsy store gives interested viewers somewhere to purchase products connected to that lifestyle. That creates a business ecosystem rather than a single income source. Mary's personal background also plays an important role in understanding the brand. Mary grew up in an Amish community in Holmes County, Ohio, and eventually left the Amish lifestyle. Elements of that upbringing have continued to influence the way she talks about simplicity, family, faith, nature, creativity, and making things by hand. Her Etsy biography also highlights interests such as family, creativity, nature, hiking, photography, reading, and spending time with her husband and children. Those details help explain why White Cottage Company feels like more than a collection of products. There is a particular lifestyle connected to the brand. The products, decorating ideas, DIY projects, and videos all fit within a similar world, one built around a slower approach to home life, creativity, and making ordinary spaces feel special. That emotional connection can be extremely valuable for a small business. People aren't simply purchasing a candle or a wooden decoration. They may also be purchasing an idea of what they want their home to feel like. And that brings us back to the question everyone is interested in. What is Mary Yoder's net worth? The honest answer is that there is no verified public figure. Mary has not publicly disclosed her personal net worth, and there is no reliable financial filing that tells us exactly how much she owns, how much she earns, or how much profit she keeps after expenses. Any website providing a precise net worth figure should therefore be viewed as an estimate rather than a confirmed fact. What we can establish with much greater confidence is the size of the business she has built. Her YouTube channel has hundreds of thousands of subscribers and more than 80 million total views. Her Etsy store has surpassed 91,000 sales and accumulated thousands of customer reviews with an overall rating of approximately 4.9 out of 5. The business also has multiple potential revenue streams. There is YouTube advertising, Etsy product sales, digital products, books, physical goods, and potentially other commercial opportunities connected to the White Cottage Company audience. The combination matters because successful creator businesses often become more valuable when they are no longer dependent on one platform. If YouTube views change, the Etsy store remains. If a particular product stops selling, other products can continue generating revenue. If viewers discover the brand through a video, they can become customers, and customers can later return to the channel for more inspiration. That creates a cycle between content and commerce. Today, White Cottage Company continues to operate as a recognizable home and lifestyle brand. The Etsy shop remains active with a large catalog and more than 90,000 sales, while the YouTube channel continues to reach hundreds of thousands of subscribers and accumulate millions of views. So while we may never know exactly how much money Mary Yoder has in the bank, we can clearly see that she has created something with considerable commercial value. And perhaps that is more interesting than a single net worth number.